Hello everyone, Merxrain here, and already we are at episode 7 of Enigmatica 6 Expert. Might notice that I have a little bit of different armor on, and that's because I did some exploration. I was only looking for one very specific thing, and I'll show you what it was. But I'm going to give you a spoiler, I didn't find it. So I had one comment on episode 6 that was very specific about, hey, you might want to check out Eidolon because they removed the Crucible. And they did, in fact, remove the Crucible. Let's take a look real quick. So the item that I really want to make for all of our create farms is this portable storage interface. And let's remember why. The portable storage interface will let us have a contraption running and then automatically pipe out the items that get stored in the chest through that storage interface into another chest or a whole different inventory system or whatever. So, in order to make it, we needed brass casings, which needs polished wood planks from Eidolon. However, it used to be made in the last version of the mod, from the Crucible, and now you can only get it from the Blood Altar. So this really disrupted my plans a bit, right? I was actually thinking for this episode we were going to start into Eidolon. We were going to be able to get into it because it's sort of an early tier magic mod. And then we were going to be able to make our items and end by upgrading our tree farm. But with the change here, right, I had to think about, well, what's next? Do I really want to dive that far into magic mods when I'm, we haven't really finished what we were doing by setting up our create farms. And then I happened to notice that brass casings can be obtained in one other way. From resourceful bees. Specifically, a clockwork bee can convert archwood planks into brass casings 17% of the time. So I did go out and I looked for one of those bees. Let's take a look at our map. And everywhere I went, so I went quite a ways south. There's only a few specific biomes that they spawn in. I mean, it's kind of a large handful. Oops. But I went quite a ways looking for this bee. Across a large ocean down here, and I wasn't able to find it. So I had to come up with a new plan, and that's what we're going to work on today. Also have to say, after I updated the pack, my game performance has been not as good. I don't know if that has to do with the version update on the mod, or if it's something else with my computer. But we're going to at least take Eidolon intro off because we're not going to be doing that soon. I'm going to also say we have done the create intro. Create trees is not quite there yet. And again, we're not looking into resourceful bees. Although I did collect a whole bunch of bees while I was out, so I'll show you those real quick as well. I have this fancy new box over here. And we've got some skeleton bees, we've got glowstone bees, we had these. Got some RGB, I got some sooty, I got IC bees, forest bees, rocky bees, and a couple normal bees. That doesn't include the zombie and the soupy bee that I have in this bee box. I'm actually going to throw that in here. Alright, so what is in store today for our new create tree system? Well, as you might have noticed in my inventory, I have some rails. We're going to use a rail cart contraption, which means we're going to have to make this cart assembler. Now, I think we're probably going to just remove this whole thing, and we're going to cannibalize the placers and the saws on the new contraption. However, we're going to leave it just for now. At least we're going to leave these chests. I mean, look, this thing filled up. It didn't take any time at all to fill up. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out a section of cobblestone, and this is where our track is going to go. And I'm probably going to lay out some additional cobblestone in spots so that we don't plant saplings. Oh, wait. Why can't I place the cart assembler on this? So I was trying to use a holding rail, which has an arrow on it, right? I'm pretty sure this means it's one direction. But I think I'm going to need to go make this controller rail instead. It's not too expensive. I just don't have it. Ooh, from that quest, we just got 2 redstone links. Those are useful. That will let us do wireless redstone. I might actually make use of those. You know, since we made the cart assembler, maybe I should quickly come down into this. Gonna give us our first minecart. Perfect. See what we got from that in a moment. Mechanical piston. No, I haven't made one of those yet. Do have linear chassis over on our machine. I think there's a mechanical bearing over there too, and of course there are saws. What else did we get? We got some analog levers. Probably won't use those. Alright, so let's try a controller rail here. Then see if... Part assembler. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Alright. So, what's going to happen is we're going to... Get that torch up real quick. And... I left the glue inside. I gotta go back and get the glue. Okay, so let's go ahead and take some of these bits. I want 2 of the saws. And I think we're gonna want pliers. Some of these too. Something like that, just to start with. Thinking if we do 2 bits here, kind of hoping that we can just put saw on like that. And really, right, so if our tree grows here, 1 saw should be sufficient, I think, to chop the whole thing down. But I do think if we use 2 blades, it will probably be faster, right? Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, it should just go 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then move around. So this should work for our saw blades, and then, of course, we know that we need to go higher. Get to our placer, or deployer. Good enough. Pop out 8 saplings. And we're going to place a single chest on here. Like so. And we're going to put that in there. And now, if we supply some redstone power to this, notice, right? The red on the cart assembler lights up, and the red on the minecart rail turns on as well. So if I take the cart, turn this on, this should all attach. There does. Thought I put eight things. So watch, when we stop it, it detaches off the cart, and the cart stops. This is going to allow us to access... Oh, you see what happened here? This one got the sapling, and so it doesn't have any to place there. That's fine. Come over here, do this, throw that in there, and then when we flick it back on again, it will reattach and it'll go around. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a system that when this stops is able to pull the items out of the inventory because it's now a normally placed block. And when it's done, or when the inventory's full, or whatever, I haven't fully got the logic just yet, but when it's done, it will repulse this, just a pulse, to allow it to go around. And see, it's going to be turned off when it gets back, so then it can suck the items out again. And I'm thinking we'll have this on like a, I don't know, 5-minute timer, 10-minute timer, something like that. I've now added in some powered rails here, and I don't know if they're needed. They're probably not needed. This is more a concern if a mob, a zombie, happens to be here and it stops the cart. Hopefully it'll hit one of these things and be able to cycle back around. Just like that. So now we need to devise our system for pulling items out, and our system for turning on and off, I guess technically both, the whole machine. The first thing we're going to work on is piping the items out of the chest and somewhere else. So let's actually start with the somewhere else. I'm actually thinking that we want to use some storage drawers. And storage drawers will let us do a few things. One of the things being we can insert a max redstone upgrade, right? Emits a signal for the most full slot. So we could have this here, and then when it's full, it emits the signal, and we can stop our machine, or maybe we just use this one, and it stops based on a certain percentage. I haven't fully decided yet. We might be able to do this with just basic redstone, or we might dive into XNet to do it. Find out soon, I think. But the easiest way to move the items over should be pretty pipes. Right? And then I'm thinking that this here will just go straight down into the ground, and we'll run our pipe right through the ground here. Now this spot right here, we're likely going to need to leave open for however we decide to power, or to, tell this to turn on and off. Which means I think we're going to need to, at a very minimum, run the pipe down right here. We might even want to pull it out one further. But there we are. And I only have 6 more pipe on me, which I clearly already know isn't going to be enough, but it'll be enough to get us started. Here we are. I brought some trapdoors to make this look fancy. There we are. We have like this little storage hutch. Either I'll put a facade on here, or we'll do a couple more of those over here in the front. Go ahead and grab some items to slot in. Grab some of these, we'll grab some of these, and there we go. So we only have 3 different item types that generate from the spruce trees. We're going to put the center one being the logs. These are the most important, with the things on the side being somewhat important. And I actually want to keep some of those on me. If we decide to go with XNet, we might not use the pretty pipes, we might use XNet to transfer the items. And that actually might end up being better, because then we can connect directly to this block and check on whether it's going to be full or not. For now, though, we'll keep operating under the assumption that we're using pretty pipes. All right, I've made a few more of these pretty pipes. Should now be connecting all the way, and then we just need to connect it right to our chest. And from here, right, we already see that there is an item in there. We can go ahead and slot in our medium extraction and give it a speed increase, right? Here we are. I have a feeling that as soon as I turn this on and this block is no longer here, this piece here is going to spit out the modules. So let's give it a try. Yep, our modules have been spit out. How we're going to get around this is we're going to place a chest. Ooh, I got hit. Hey, didn't get all the blocks. Or if that's because it hit me or what. In fact, I wouldn't have expected to get hit over here, but I did. We'll revisit this. We might just need to expand out or, you know, give this some more space. I'm not sure yet. But let's try if we place a chest right here. We do not want this connection. And this chest, all it's for is to say, hey, we want modules there. So this chest should never fill up. It should never be used. And remember, this is only a medium extraction, which means that it can't take a full stack out. Take apparently 8 out at a time. But now, when we activate this, the pipe stays, and then it reconnects. Perfect. I'd say this system now is, you know, a sort of complete system, right? We could just leave this on, and then after it collects for a little bit, come shut it off, and it'll store all its items. Done, right? However, we are going to give this a smarter system on when it should be running and when it shouldn't be running. And we're going to give it a master control switch so we can say, hey, just turn it off, because I don't want it running anymore for whatever reason. Now then, let's get our redstone control set up here. This is going to be an untested design, so I don't know exactly if it's going to work how I want it to. But the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to make what is called an etho clock. The way that these work is you put items in the hopper, and then it's going to push a piston back and forth. See, very momentarily here. Get one of those there. And I believe we get one of them there. And I'm going to actually just throw a whole bunch of items in there just to start with. I think we need a couple redstone torches. Oh, I screwed something up. Okay, so what I had actually screwed up here was I needed comparators. Okay, so the way that this works is you have items in one hopper, and then they are flowing out into the other hopper. And once it fills up, right, the comparator changes its state, and then it pushes the piston, which pushes the redstone block. The redstone block is preventing the hopper from draining its items, and this is going to let us use these pulse repeaters, get a redstone output. So if I do this, and then we're just going to put a little bit of redstone dust here. See that flash? I'm hoping that flash is enough time. And then I'm going to build a very simple AND gate to control whether or not we turn this whole thing on. So we're going to run our redstone in here somehow. In fact, actually, I need to modify this. Yeah. If we said that's the input right there, this will work better. Input's here. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to just use a simple lever, and this is going to be our on and off switch. And right now, it's off. We get these here, get this there, and then we put another one on the back. I'm going to do like redstone right there, and then we're going to use these fancy redstone links. So these are actually from the Create mod, and these allow for wireless redstone. I know we're right here and we're really close, but the thing is, this is a temporary system, right? We're probably going to end up going with XNet eventually or something. And so this isn't going to be here. This is just all for being temporary. So the way that these work is you can see they have a frequency. You can fill one or both of them in. I'm going to put spruce logs because this is our spruce farm. And so anytime this receives a signal, it will power the one on the opposite side. But we do need to right-click this with our wrench. This little, I guess it's like a satellite dish or something. This indicates that it is now receiving the connection. So right now, this thing is flipping, but nothing's changing over here because our master control is off. If I set this on, we're going to see if this is long enough. Ooh, it might not be long enough. Either that or this isn't being correctly powered. I bet that might be the case. So let's go ahead and break this. Put our redstone right there. Oh no, now it's going backwards. I think we need a repeater. Be right back. Okay, repeater down. We'll see if this changes anything. Doesn't quite look like it, does it? So the way that I was hoping this would work is that this would pulse every so often over here. Like that. Right, you see how that turns this off and it causes this whole thing to be powered. And we can see our system here is working. The items are flowing out, just as we would expect. And I did figure out the two floating blocks up here. What was actually happening was this linear chassis. If I switch to the wrench, see how that's got a range of 1? They all had ranges of 8, and because this was technically sticky and they were touching those blocks back here from the deployer, they were sticking right on, so I had to configure that to a 1. Alright, unfortunately, I wasn't recording when I got this figured out. So let me go over it again real quick here. So, the pulse was too fast. and the AND gate wasn't able to pick up the pulse. It was a very simple solution. I just needed to add a delay onto the redstone repeater, and in fact, a 4-tick delay seems to work just great. So what's happening here? I have a full 5 stacks of cobblestone in here, which should equate to about a 3.5-minute timer, right? It's all flowing out of here and it's flowing into here. And once it flows all the way over, this will switch over. And when it switches over, you know, this one over here is actually going to pulse. It's going to send the redstone pulse into our repeater, which sends the redstone pulse into our AND gate, right? This is our master control lever, is set to on. So as long as this is on, when this pulses, it will send a pulse to our wireless redstone link, which will send a pulse, of course, to our cart assembler and to our special powered rail that's under there. So once this ticks over, which is going to do in just a few items, there it goes. Boom, just like that. Now, this here is mostly temporary. Even if we use a timer like this, we'll probably put it underground because it's kind of ugly, and also we don't want to hear the pistons firing all the time. And since we have these wireless redstone links, right, this could technically be anywhere. We just have to make sure that we're able to power a wireless redstone link and have the other one right over here. And then, of course, we want to make sure that we stop the system for a decent amount of time so that we're able to suck all the items out and put them in their storage drawers. Which we can see has been working, right? We have 716 spruce logs, 105 saplings, and 138 sticks. So this will just continue to build up. I don't think we have time for it in this episode, so I'll probably do it in between episodes. But we're going to want a few extras inside these. I think to start off with, we're going to want the void upgrade. Can we even make it? Item trash can? Maybe not yet, actually. I don't know how to make sheet metal. Just aluminum plates? We can make this. Cactus batch. I'll have to see if I found any cactus yet. I think I did. I just don't have it growing. And then I might also make like a gold storage upgrade. Maybe not. That takes power. Okay, so I might make these storage upgrade 2s. Tiered bricks. Maybe not yet. But what the void upgrade will do is if these fill up, instead of just, you know, it would eventually fill the chest up there, and then it would break the item, or it would break the trees, and then the items would just hit the ground, and that would cause lag, and we don't want that to happen. So it would just continue to suck up items, and then they'd get placed in the storage drawer and deleted. Oh, and here's our system again. Look at that, perfect. And then all the items come out. I'd say this is a large success. Now, I know it's dark, but this is a relatively safe area. So what do we have in store for our next episode? Well, I really want to pull out the logs that we're getting from this system, go underground into a basement, which we'll have to carve out, and then once we have the basement, to create, I don't know, between 3, 5, maybe up to 10 redstone furnaces. We want to pump all of the logs into those redstone furnaces, and then create at least one storage drawer full of charcoal. And then we'll pump the storage drawer of charcoal into the dynamos to create power. So we're going to have this, you know, I'm going to call it large scale, but it's early game large scale power generation plant that's powered infinitely by charcoal being made off of these logs. So that is our plan for next episode. Everything that I want to do should be doable without getting into any new mods or anything. So I hope you're excited. I am. This is Merc Serene, signing off.